How to become a manga artist. If many of you out there got that question, you're in the right place. I also had this question at one point, and that is how to become a manga artist, or mangaka, which is the official term for Japanese manga artists. If you also have that question, I am going to tell you exactly how to do it step by step. Darius Hironori with Hironori's AASFF, and today we are going to cover how to become a manga artist. Becoming a manga artist is a dream for many people. I remember when I first thought about becoming a manga artist myself, and I began my journey on that process. I struggled, it was hard. I had this idea that I wanted to try to figure it all out on my own. I was going to basically learn from trial and error. That was a mistake. So guys, do not do this. If you just want to, then you can, but believe me, manga is an age-old art form, and you really want to make sure that you are learning the right way. First off, I'm going to start with answering a couple questions that a lot of people who start off trying to be a manga artist have. First question is, what is a manga artist or a mangaka? A manga artist or a mangaka is an artist who illustrates or writes Japanese style comics. A lot of you guys out there want to know how demanding it is to be a manga artist. It's extremely demanding. I'm going to be upfront with you. It's a lot of work. If you truly want to be the best and create titles like Naruto and One Piece, one of my favorite, Overlord. If you truly want to create great work like that, it is a very demanding profession and art form. Make sure that it's something that you truly want to do. That love and that drive for that art form that's actually going to get you through those tough spots, through those long days and nights of being up and drawing and constantly sketching and thinking of new ideas. Another question that a lot of people have, do you have to be Japanese to be a manga artist or mangaka? No, you do not have to be Japanese. Now, granted, being able to be a local of Japan or visiting Japan or even working with some people in Japan would benefit you greatly. Since it did originate from Japan, the most famous style of manga anime is Japanese style. Having some type of interaction with Japan or Japanese artists will take your artwork a long way. But no, you do not have to be Japanese to be a successful manga artist. So now that those frequently asked questions, now that those facts are out of the way, we're going to jump right into step one, which is research manga. I remember when I was first starting out doing manga and writing novels or light novels, which you know a lot of times are adapted into a manga. I came up with a brilliant story, brilliant idea for it, and I just started writing and drawing. I just jumped into it. I started at a chapter like in the middle of the whole story. I had friends of mine reading it. I just thought it was the most awesome chapter, and I was like, yes, this is epic. And I thought I just wrote the greatest thing that ever came off of someone's pen. I was sorely mistaken. So the first step for all you aspiring manga artists out there, do research first. The first step should be to learn the world of manga, to know about the formatting of manga, the history of manga, where it started. One thing that a lot of people don't know when they first start out is manga has structural rules, common themes that reach across multiple genres. Most of the artistic choices have a meaning, even down to the color of hair. So when you first start out learning to do manga, most artists have a library of all the rules, and they have that in a folder. When you start out, you should do the same thing. Have a folder that's a library of all the rules of doing manga, and have that on standby. That way, if you ever need to refer back to a certain structural rule or some type of meaning behind an artistic choice, you have that folder you can refer to for the rules of manga. There are 5 distinct common types of manga. Shonen is manga that is made to attract a boy audience. The next type is shoujo. Shoujo manga is for girls. Times when you see a lot of flowery males and females are drawn really pretty. That type of manga produced for girls. The next type of manga is seinen. This type of manga is to attract the audience of men. The opposite of that is josei. and josei is a type of manga for women. A fifth common distinct type of manga is kodomo. Kodomo is a type of manga that is directed towards children. Step 2 is find like-minded people. The last thing you guys want to do is go through this journey alone. I have a buddy of mine. We could talk about manga, anime, and gaming for hours at a time. A lot of times just talking to him helps me get fresh ideas. He may mention something that'll help me take my story into a whole new direction, to open up new doors and avenues for my actual story. You want to make sure you find like-minded people. There's so many conventions out there that now have gotten so much attention just for manga and anime and gaming. You want to join one of these communities or multiple of these communities and find like-minded people who share your interests and love for manga. You might meet somebody else who's trying to create their own original manga. You guys might be able to partner and work together. They may give you some inspirational ideas that you hadn't thought about before, or some pointers on how to do some of your artwork or story work or plot work. So finding like-minded people that you can work with and share your ideas with, share this common love for manga, can actually inspire you with new ideas and new thoughts on how to create your own manga. Friendships can bloom from this interaction as well, so it's a win-win situation. Moving forward, let's get into step 3. Acquiring manga illustration equipment. This is kind of like the backbone of doing manga. You can't really do manga without the actual equipment to create it. So you have two different types of manga illustrations. You have the traditional way, which is hand-drawn. If you guys are hand-drawing a manga the traditional way, that's fine, especially if you are just starting out or if you have a low budget. Just know the traditional way, you're gonna need pens, and those pens may range from field nib pens all the way to exact fine pens. This method may take more time, but it's still used all across the world to create a lot of comics. The other method is digital drawing. There's a large trend now to use a Wacom to draw digitally. Based on your level of expertise, it could be a little difficult to draw on a Wacom. You'll definitely get accustomed to it. It's a great piece of technology. If you don't know what Wacom is, it's basically a pad or a tablet that connects to your computer, and it integrates with a drawing software. Sometimes it may be Adobe Photoshop or other manga or anime specific software. If you want to know more about that, you guys can check out the video in the card. Wait, it's either on this side or that side, I don't know. Just check out the video, guys, and I will have a video specifically for telling you guys the tools that's needed for the hand drawing process and the digital drawing process. Or you guys can actually go down, I have the link in the description for the article that will go over the hand drawing and digital drawing process and the tools needed for either or. Now let's jump on into the fourth step. Learn to draw manga. It may sound obvious, but you should definitely learn to draw manga if you want to be a manga artist. Illustrating manga or additional writing for manga has a specific style conveyed. You guys want to try to fine-tune your craft. Manga illustration is actually a new major among universities, but there are still some that offer it. College education can take your manga illustration skills very far, but do you need to attend a manga school to draw a manga or to be a manga artist? No, you do not. It's a lot of self-taught manga artists out there. If you do want to go through the path of being self-taught, it's going to take practice and it's going to take the process of you learning. Step 5, gain experience. One of the best ways to gain some experience to becoming a manga artist is actually to become a mangaka assistant. And that's basically a professional manga artist assistant. Doing this will actually give you life experience working on mangas that are actually being published. Not only will you be able to learn by working on a professional manga artist, you also get a sense of accomplishment that you actually helped on a manga that got published. Since there are loads of work whether you know it or not, behind creating a volume of manga. A lot of mangaka or professional manga artists will hire assistants to help with certain parts of the manga, whether that be fill-ins or background work or coloring. Some of the common responsibilities you'll also have to deal with will be basic errands. They may have you updating a blog or social media. If that's not enough to convince you, there are some other benefits to become a mangaka assistant. One of those would be you get to meet other manga artists. You can actually learn from them as well. Another benefit is you get knowledge of real publishing methods. When you do your own manga, it's very important to know those publishing methods behind publishing an official manga. If you guys are interested, there are jobs available on popular forums like Ganmo. On forums like that, they will have positions where you can become a mangaka assistant or even find freelance work for illustration. So the sixth step is to become a noticed manga artist. 99% of manga artists end up submitting their work to a publishing company and then receiving advice on that work. Anybody can submit their manga to the publishing company, so probably a good idea when you finish your first piece of work to submit it and get advice and have them critique your first piece of work. That way you can actually learn from the professionals' advice as well as have your name show up on their radar, especially if you do it multiple times. One thing to make sure you keep in mind is to make sure you have original content. Don't just read another manga, you put a twist to it and say, hey, I can do this a little better, or this character should have been a bad guy instead of a good guy, and then remake it and submit it. It will fail. Do not do this. It's not original. One thing about manga is it is the embodiment of an artist's originality and an artist's creativity. So that is what brings in your fans. That is what people look for when they read manga. The more manga you create, the more chances you have to be noticed. You want to start off with the outline of a plot. Then if you want, you can also have someone familiar with manga to review your storyline and give you advice on it or some type of feedback. This will help you get your own style or create your own world of your own work of manga. The next thing you want to try to do is join manga contests. Now, a lot of you might not be familiar with this, but manga contests are a huge thing. It's a big event. Being a part of a manga contest could skyrocket your career as a manga artist, depending on how you fare in the contest. Joining a lot of those contests, they will make you a chosen feature. Like I said, depending on how you fare in the contest. Even if you don't win, excerpts of your manga can be chosen to be shown to the masses. So you still have a chance to get your work noticed. And also don't forget about the contest where people's vote chooses the winner. So you can have random people browsing the contestants and you still have your work noticed. Some of those competitions are Sparkler Monthly, the Silent Manga Edition. Also, unnoticed AASFF offers a platform to have manga artists' work be displayed as well. The next thing you guys want to do is self-publishing. I won't go over too much of self-publishing. If you want to know in detail the process of self-publishing, you can actually, again, it's one of the cards up there. Check out my video on self-publishing, and also the counterpart article will be down in the description as well on the process of how to self-publish. Just to skim over self-publishing, that process name is doujinshi. Just so you guys know, self-publishing could have a positive or negative effect. To self-publish a novel, you don't have to meet any other company's standards, and once you publish it, it's available to consumers. On the other hand, self-publishing manga can end up with a lot of errors if you don't have the guidance of a proper editor. All the marketing is your responsibility, so don't think of it as an easy feat. So once you become a doujinshi, there are basic ways to circulate your work. The longest doujinshi convention is Comiket. Comiket is basically a name that combines comic market. About 20 acres of manga. 20 acres of manga from authors that self-publish original work. Some self-publishers can have very few copies. It's three reasons for this. Either firstly because of budgeting reasons where they're only capable of printing a small amount, or it could be because the artist is well renowned and they could just be premiering their work at the convention. Lastly, it's not too good. It's a way to derive other manga stories from other manga artists, which has a lower chance of being called plagiarism. So you guys might want to watch out for that. If you don't want to be a doujinshi and you don't want to self-publish, you can find a publisher, which is one of the more common routes of becoming a world-renowned mangaka. Once you begin submitting your work to these publishing companies, they review them and give you their feedback. So one of the greatest aspects of these Japanese publishing companies is their reviewing process. Feedback is given to all submissions, so basically you learn what to work on. Unless, of course, you hit the jackpot and you're actually picked up by a large publishing company. And if that's the case, congratulations. A few of the large publishing companies to know are Tokyo Pop, Dark Horse, and Kodansha Comics. Like I said, those links will be down below as well. So you guys, go out there, fulfill your dream of being a mangaka or manga artist. I would love to hear you guys' success stories or the stories that you have on your journey to becoming a renowned manga artist. So guys, if you want to read the counterpart article for this video, it'll be down in the description below. You can check that out. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button if this video helped you out in any way. If you have any questions or anything you want me to break down for you, any specific process or anything like that, make sure you write down the questions in the comment and I will be glad to answer any questions you guys may have. Thank you for checking out this video and I'll see you next time.